Good morning, everyone, or maybe good afternoon. Hopefully, everyone's doing well. Welcome to the math course. I'm Mr. O'Brien from Nantyre Shores, and we're teaching you grade 11 math here. MEL 3EV, or 3V is the course that we're teaching you today. And hopefully, you guys are doing well. We're moving along. Today's lesson is going to be on lesson number 3. I always start off to show you guys the D2L website here. So hopefully you logged in, and obviously if you're watching this video, then you have. But let's go through again. We're at Course Home. Again, Course Home is the tab. As you can see the tabs across the top of the screen here. And this is where you'll see posts and stuff like that I'll put on. It may have the Google Meets link in there and all that kind of stuff. D2L also will email you the posts as well. So make sure you're checking your email at all times. Again, we have quizzes at the top. Again, every lesson has a small quiz. Again, you guys, click on that and you'll see the each units and lessons quiz on there. Please give those a try. They are worth marks. Again, what this video is to give you practice before the quizzes. So don't do the quizzes until you do these practice questions. Dropbox we may use, but it's if you have an assignment that isn't a quiz and I want to see how your writing skills and stuff like that. So that's Dropbox, and we'll use programs like Adobe PDF Maker on your phone to create you can draw it with pen and paper or pencil and paper, and then take a picture of it with your phone and convert it to PDF. But we'll do that some other time. But here's content. Here's the content page. Click on content, and what have we done so far? Well, we have introduced you guys here. So the orientation, again, there was an orientation quiz here, the course information, and here we have we've done Unit 1, Lesson 1, Earning Income. We've done that one already. We've done Unit 1, Lesson 2, which is Commission and Hourly, and now we are here, Unit 1, Lesson 3, Gross and Net Pay. So if you click on that, it'll open up and you'll see here, and you can see here's the print lesson. So again, if you want to print the lesson off and go through it that way, or just have it for your notes, you can. Here's the answers to the support questions that we've done. So the video questions that we're doing, or the video lessons, those questions are all, their answers for all of them are all right here. And then there's that quiz that I was talking about. The video will show up here once we're done. I'm just doing it right now, so you'll see the video lesson here as well. But let's click on the print lesson, and you can see here the lesson for today, which is gross pay and net pay. And again, this button right here allows you to go bigger. So if we click on that, we can go big screen here. And then if you want to get out of that, you're going to press the escape key on the top left hand side of your keyboard. Once you do that, then it'll allow you back out. If not, sometimes you have to also press this button at the top, or at the top of the screen as well. So okay, gross pay and net pay, lesson number 3, unit 1. So what do we want to learn here? We want to learn understanding types of deductions, recognizing what gross pay is. Gross means the big pay. That's the big pay. Gros or grand, right, in French, right? That's your biggest amount of pay you're going to. And you're also going to calculate the total deductions, and then you calculate the net pay. Net pay is what's left over. That's what's kind of like, you throw a net into the ocean and you scoop up a whole bunch of water and stuff like that, and then what's left in the net is your fish, which is your pay, right? That's what you want to do. So again, net pay, you kind of think of it that way. So gross pay, gross and net income. So gross income. Gross income is the amount earned before any type of deduction is taken away from that pay. There are all types of deductions that can come off the earnings, and they include income tax, pension plan, employment insurance, a company pension plan. My stepdad worked for Labatt, so they had one, their own plan. So Labatt's pension plan. Honda also had one, but I don't think they pay into those ones. The company pays for them, but you never know. Health and dental insurance, extended health and dental insurance. So again, there's the base, and then if you want more, life insurance. That's if you die. You want to leave your loved ones some money. Some union dues. So if you have a union, you have to pay for it. Donations to charities. Registered education plans called RESP. Your mom or dad may have done that for you, so that you can go to school and have money to do that. And then registered retirement saving plans. Again, it's like a pension, but it's your own money that you're putting in. And that's kind of like they call it, these are in tax shelters, so you're not being taxed on that money. So it's a good idea. The amount of pay after all deductions have been taken off is called the net income. It's kind of like that net. You're kind of dumping all the water and everything's going through that sieve, and what's left over is what you actually get paid. So example number 1, we have Brianna earns $425 per week. So again, that's going to be her gross pay, right, for the week. Deductions from her weight. So we're going to have $425 is our gross, and we're going to deduct all these ones here. So deducting all these, so these are our deductions and from her gross pay. So she's going to get a net less than that. So again, it's going to be basically gross minus your deductions. Pardon me. Gives you your net pay. So there we go. We have to actually calculate the gross pay. So the gross pay is what was given, but it may not be given in this form. They may say, oh, you make $12 an hour and you work 40 hours a week, so your gross pay would be 40 times 12. But in this case, they gave it to you. So $425 is your gross pay. Total deductions, so we've added all those up. So we've added where the $10.12, the $17, the $62.86, the $8.91, and the $15.23. Those were all added up. Again, you can see they're kind of vertical here, and here we've added them horizontal. That's just the only difference, but they total to 115. So our net pay would be the 425 minus the 115, which gives us $309.96. Okay, so there you guys go. So let's try these support questions here. So we have the same idea, but we're dealing with 4 people. They've just done 4 different people. Each has a gross, deductions, and net pay. So remember, net pay is equal to gross pay. So our net pay here is equal to gross minus deductions. Sorry, the mouse doesn't want to agree with me. So let's give that a try. So I'm going to hit the escape key. And of course, if that doesn't work, you can always... And sometimes D2L doesn't want to cooperate. And if I use my Alt F4, sometimes that works. Just hold on 1 second. We just have to fix this one thing here. Okay, so here it is. Here you can see I hit escape, and it's really hard to see, but if you see at the top of the screen, exit full screen, that's the button you got to hit. So there, we all learned how to do that. So here we go again. And just want to make sure we're recording here, which we are. Perfect. Okay. So, if we... these are all different buttons. You can try them out yourself, as you guys can see. Let me just fix this. Give me 1 second here. All right, so just a few of these buttons here in D2L. You can see if you hit this button up here, the menu button, it converts it into this page thing, which I don't like as much. You can see all the different pages that are in this lesson here. But if you click that, then it goes a little bit bigger. And then if you want it even bigger, this one rotates it and does all this stuff. You can get it to that full size. So again, if you hit that, it does this funny thing. And then you're like, well, okay, that's the size I want. You can increase the size there. And then if you want it even bigger, the full screen, you hit it up there. And then you hit escape key. Hitting the escape gets you out of there. And if escape doesn't work, then this exit full screen at the top should work as well. So there you guys go. There's some things for you guys to know about D2L. All right, so let's get started here. We are going to switch over to our camera here. And you can see... just do the test here, and of course we always want to put at the top our work here. So we're still in Unit 1, and we're at lesson number 3, and that's gross and net income. Okay, and we want to use a ruler, and we're doing our, and I'm just going to switch back here. We are doing the support questions. So support questions, and we're doing support question number 1. All right, so we're going to write down all this information here. So again, I'm just create the table here. So we have Cliff, so we have all the information here, and we have gross pay, deductions, and net. And we'll just do We got 4 people there. You guys can hear me drawing in the background here. And you guys can make your own table up here, but we have gross, deductions, and net. And Cliff had $261.23 gross, $44.57 deductions, and then we have to find the net pay. Elaine has, we have to find gross. The deductions are $71.45, and the net is $419.83. Question mark. And then we have Lester. Lester had a gross of $518, and we have to figure out the deductions, and has a net of $388.16. And the last person is Evelyn. Has a gross, I have to figure out the gross, and we have a deduction of $122.65 and a net of $496.22. I often put a little line underneath the cents just so that you know that that's not the dollars if you want. So here's what I did. So I just recreated that table. So we gotta, what we gotta do is we gotta fill in these blanks. We gotta fill in all these blanks here, which we'll do. So you guys see there, I created that that table just as we were talking there. So we have to find the net. So we'll just call this, blank number 1, blank number 2, blank number 3, and blank number 4. So blank number 1, what do we have to do here? We have to find the net. Find Cliff's net. All right, so again, what was the, so we know the gross, so again, what's net? Well, we know that net pay is equal to gross pay minus deductions. Right, that's our formula that we know, right? That's the net pay. So if we, so let's plug it right in. So net pay, so we can say NP is equal to our gross pay, which is $261.23 minus our deductions. Our deductions are $44.57. And put that in the calculator, and what do we have here? So 261.23 minus 44.57 gives us $216.66. There we go. So that's the gross pay, or sorry, that's the net pay. So net pay. So that's blank number 1. So blank number 2, we'll move on. So that's our answer for Cliff's net pay. Okay, blank number 1. All right, so blank number 2 is we have to find out the gross pay. So again, what we have to find Elaine's gross pay. So we know net pay is equal to gross pay minus deductions, right? So we have to find gross pay, right? We just call that GP. So how do I get GP by itself? So how do I get GP by itself? And this is called the cancel method. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the deductions on this side, deductions, right? Right? But if I add deductions on this side, I have to add deductions on the other side. So let's just move that over. So again, I had my net pay is equal to gross pay minus deductions, and I put in red here what I'm changing the formula. So I'm changing the formula here, and I have to get gross pay by itself, right? That's what we're trying to find here is gross pay. So how do I get rid of negative deductions? Well, I put positive deductions because negative deductions plus positive deductions, like -1 plus 1 is 0. -3 plus 3 is 0. -4 plus 4. So if I put the exact same thing, add the exact same thing to the negative of it, it's going to cancel out. But whatever I do to this side of the equation, remember this is the equal sign here, whatever, it's kind of like balance beam. Whatever I do to this side of the equation, I have to do to the other side of the equation. So if I go plus deductions on that side, I have to go plus deductions on this side. Well, guess what? This whole thing goes to 0, right? So what do I get? I get net pay plus deductions equals gross pay plus 0. But gross pay plus 0, because that's 0, right, is the same as gross pay. So my formula, I've just rearranged to create gross pay. So what's gross pay equal to? Net pay minus plus deduction. So net pay plus deduction is my gross pay. So let's plug that in. So what's gross pay? My net pay in this case here was for Elaine. Remember, this is for Elaine. So again, my new formula that I've just rearranged for gross pay is equal to net pay plus deductions. So what is my net pay for Elaine? It is $419.83, and my deductions is 71. So I got my net pay is 419. So I'm just going to write that down: $419.83 plus my $71.45. So there we have it. So what's my gross pay? It's going to be my net pay plus my deductions. So that's, I'm just going to put that in the calculator so you guys can see. So $419.83 plus $71.45 equals $491.28. And that's what my gross pay is equal to. Neat thing you can do that. Just think of an equation like this. It's like a balance beam. So if I have, balance, whatever I increase on this side of the balance, I have to do the exact same. So if I, increase it on this side, I have to do the exact same on that side because of the equal sign. So whatever I do to one side of the equation, I have to do the exact same thing. So again, I did plus deductions on this side, so I did have to do plus deductions on that side of the equation, all because that equal sign. And it's like a big balance beam. You guys know what a balance beam is, teeter-totter. And then that created our new formula. Okay? And of course I just plugged it in, net pay plus deductions, and that makes sense. Gross pay has to be greater than the 2, right? That's because it's gross, it's the bigger one. Okay, that's blank number 2. Let's try blank number 3. And blank number 3 was Lester's deductions. So we're doing blank. Number 3. And then we go back here, you can see blank number 3 is we have to do Lester's deductions. So we have to find Lester's deductions. So find Lester's, pardon me, Lester's deductions. And then we say deductions, that's like D-U-D, need. And there we go, right here. So we have Lester, so we have gross, so we have to find deductions in this case. So what was our original formula? Our original formula was net pay is equal to gross pay. So net pay is equal to gross pay minus deductions. And what do we have to find? We have to find deductions. So how do I get rid of gross pay on this side here? All right, how do I get rid of that? So what I'm going to do in this case here is remember, if there's no sign here, it means it's plus, right? So if it's plus GP on this side, I have to go minus GP on this side. And of course, if I do it on that side, I have to do it on the other side. So I have to do it on both sides. So it's net pay. And I'm sure you guys will do this all in one step, but I did minus gross pay is equal to gross pay. So here we have gross pay minus gross pay. So that's going to be equal to 0. That equals 0. So what do I get? I get net pay minus gross pay is equal to minus deductions. Oh, wait a minute. I have this minus deductions on this side. How do I get rid of a minus sign? Well, I'm going to times it by -1, right? A negative times a negative is a positive. But if I times that by -1, I have to times this by -1, right? Whatever I do to this side, I have to do to the other side. So what do I get? I get minus net pay, negative times a negative is a positive, and a negative times a negative is a positive. So I got deductions is equal to minus net pay. Wow, that's kind of funny. It's a weird kind of setup. But I can move these around. I can say negative net pay plus gross pay is the same as saying gross pay minus net pay. I just move those around. And that seems like a hard way of doing it, but I'm just trying to teach you guys how to rearrange formulas. And remember, whatever you do to the one side, you have to do the other side. And you're trying to do the opposite of what, if you're trying to get rid of things, you're going to do the opposite of. So if this is plus GP, I'm going to do minus GP. Again, if this is a negative here, I can change it by multiplying it by negatives, because a negative times a negative gives me a positive. But whatever I do to this side of the equation, because of the equal sign, I have to do the same thing to the other side. So to keep it balanced, just remember that. So you can do anything. You can multiply, divide, add, or subtract. Just remember, whatever you do to that side, you have to do to the other side to keep it equal. So there's our new formula. Deductions is equal to gross pay minus net pay. That makes sense, right? Because gross pay is the bigger one. Net pay is what's left over. The difference between those two must be the deductions. But again, the way I teach you guys, this is called the cancel method. So the cancel method. So we use that to rearrange formula, right? And whatever you do to this one side of the equation, you do the same thing else. That's a long way of saying, okay, that's our formula. So what is our gross pay for for Lester? So Lester, the gross pay was $518.24 minus our net pay of $388.16 is equal to, again, we can just plug that into our calculator. Calculator loves to shut off. 518.24 minus 388.16 gives me $130.08. $130.08. So that is my deductions. So that's my deductions. Okay, and that's my answers. That's my answer for blank number 3. So blank number 3 in that table was Lester's deduction. So we figured that out. So now it's when we have to do blank number 4, which is Evelyn's gross pay. So we have to find Evelyn's gross pay. So blank number 4. So we have to find Evelyn's gross pay. And our original formula is net pay is equal to gross pay minus deductions. And we did find gross pay. We found gross pay in when we did Elaine's, so in blank number 2. So we've already figured out what gross pay is in blank number 2 from doing Elaine's. So gross pay, so we'll just say C blank number 2 to rearrange. So we're going to say C blank number 2 to rearrange formula. And the formula is net pay plus deductions is equal to gross pay. And if you guys like it, I'm just going to flip the whole thing. So again, I'm going to go gross pay is equal to net pay plus deductions. So again, I just kind of moved everything over there, just moved the equal sign over there. So what do we have? We have net pay, in this case for Evelyn is $496.24. and 22 cents plus our deductions of $122.65. And that gives us a total of, and again, I'll just plug it into my calculator here. Get to fit that on the camera here. And we got $496.22 plus $122.65 gives me a total of $618.87. So that's our answer for blank number 4. Okay, guys. So that's the first question. I really suggest that everyone take a break. We're going to go in and do question number 2 in a moment. So just take a break there, and we'll be back in 1 minute. Okay, I've had that minute off. Hopefully you guys have it. Time flies, eh? It doesn't seem like a minute at all. But we're back. So here we are. We just finished off question number 1, that table, and blank 1, blank 2, blank 3, blank 4, using our formula that net pay is equal to gross pay minus deductions. So here we go. We're doing the same kind of idea here, except for here are all our deductions here. Here's our gross pay. Again, it's per month. So again, it's per month. So this is the total amount that it makes per month. And then these are all the deductions for 1 month. So just make sure when you're reading questions and stuff like that, that they didn't give you the pay in like a week and then gave you the deductions for the month. You have to make sure they're for the same time period. So that's the gross pay for the month, and then the deductions for the month are all these, right? And then we're going to do our net pay. So we're going to do the exact same thing as we did before. Or what's our formula? Net pay is equal to gross pay minus deductions. So let's try that now. So we're doing question number 2. So I'm just going to switch over to my camera here. So again, we're still in unit number 1, lesson 3. And we're doing question number 2 of the, I always forget what they're called, support questions. Question 2, and these are called support questions. So remember, you have to do the key questions, and that's what your quiz is. So this is a support question. So let's take a look here. So what do we have to find? So we have to find A, the gross pay, and B, the total deductions, and C, the net pay. Alright, so I'm just writing all this stuff down, and I'll show it to you guys now. So again, I've just extracted all that information. And again, remember we learned before, you could use the GRASS method, the given, the required, the analysis, the solution, and stuff like that. But we're kind of, unless asked for that, you don't have to do that method. It's just a methodical way of showing your work. This is another way, a little bit faster. So we have to find for A, the gross pay, B, the total deductions, and C, the net pay. So again, what's our formula? So our formula again is our net pay is equal to gross pay minus deductions. And you can shorten that for net pay is equal to GP, gross pay minus deductions. You could say it like that, right? So that's our formula right there. So we have to find net pay. So that's kind of what we have to do for C. So let's do A. So find gross pay. Well, gross pay was given. It was given. And right at the very top. So let's go back to the question here. So we're reading it right here. Noah earns $1,824 per month. So we were given that. So we were given $1,824 per month. Remember, you got to make sure you got the net pay and deductions for the right time period. So it's per month here, and our deductions are monthly as well, so per month there. So again, let's go back, and so what do we have? Well, we found for A, it's given. It was $1,824 per month. That's the answer for A. That was the gross pay. We found the gross pay. So now we have to find the deductions. Find the deductions. So what are the deductions? Well, you go back and you look at the question, and there they are right there. Well, let's make this bigger so you guys can see. So there's the deductions right there. EI, all that kind of stuff. So find deductions. So I'm going to add those all up. So deductions is going to be equal to $112.45. That's my EI plus my CPP, $89.14. Income tax was $412.74 plus $15.12 for health plan, $33.18 for company pension, and $2.45 for life insurance. That's a heck of a deal on life insurance. $100 for RSP and $17.25 for union dues. That's cheap union dues too. So we're going to add those all up. So as you guys know, I was going to hit exit full screen at the top there. I'm just going to switch over to it, and I wrote all those down for you. So again, that's something that you guys need to do yourself. So again, I did that horizontal. You could do it vertically. I just run out of space, so I just did it horizontally. So I'm going to add all those up to get my reductions. And again, let's just put that in the calculator. Calculator loves to turn off. Lovely calculator. $112.45. Just want to check on that. Kind of. Yeah, that's right. So let's just kind of clean that up. That looks a little bit not so nice. Use a proper razor too. Smudge it all. Try to keep things tidy. So $112.45 plus $89.14 plus $412.74. The nice thing with these calculators, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it actually shows what the values are that you've inputted. So you're like, oh, where did I last left? Oh, 412. Oh, that's right there. So now I can add my 15, 12, my 33. Just got an email, I guess. It's that sound you heard. Plus 100 plus 1725 equals, there we go. I don't know if you can see that or not. 782.33. 782.33. And put our dollar signs in there. So there's the answer for B. So that's my total deductions. And then we have to find C, which is find the net income. And net income, remember, that's our formula from way up at the top. There's net income equals gross minus deductions. So net pay is equal to gross pay minus deductions, which is equal to, well, our gross pay was, again, $18.24, right? $18.24. Minus our deductions, what we figured out was $782.33. And what do we get? So again, just plug that into the calculator. And the calculator didn't shut off this time. 1824 minus 782.33 gives me $1,041.67. So that is my net pay. So that's my net pay. Oops. Net pay. Okay, there you guys go. That was question number 2. And we're going to be doing question number 3 in a short minute. But again, I'm just going to get everything tidied up. So take a break, and we'll finish. We'll come back and do question number 3 in a minute. See. Hi everyone, welcome back. We were just working on question number 2, and let's do question number 3. And we're going to do that one together and work through it. So let's get that up to the top there, make it nice and big. So question number 3 says Amber works $12 or works 37 hours at $12.25 per hour. So instead of the gross pay being given to us, we actually have to calculate the gross pay. So let's switch back to my other screen here, and again we're doing Unit 1, Lesson 3, and we're doing support question number 3. So what do we got to find in this case? So let's switch back and see here. So we have to find A, the gross pay, B, the deductions, and C, the net pay, or NP. Okay, so I've just written those down. So again, that's what we got to find. So let's do A. So we have to find net pay. So net pay in this case here. How do we figure out net pay? So let's do that together. So net pay in this case here, let's make this bigger, is instead of giving us the total, they said, well, they worked 37 hours at $12.25. So again, sorry, gross pay, not net pay. We're going to find gross pay. So our gross pay is equal to our 37 hours times $12.25 per hour. So going back and just written that down here. So there we go. So they work 37 hours at $12.25. So $12 and $12.25 per hour. Remember that per hour and the hours cancel out. And that gives us, put that in the calculator, 37 times 12.25 equals $453.25. So that's our gross pay. So we've answered part A. So part B is deductions. So what are the deductions? So we're just going to add them all up. So let's go back and add them all up. So here they all are here. So what do we got? You got EI. So EI, so that's $9.50 or $9.05 plus $15.57 plus $48.76 plus $11.03 plus $4.81. So let's go back. So I've written those all out for you here, and I'm just going to plug them into the calculator. So $9.05 plus $15.57 plus $48.76 plus 11. And you can put them in vertical. I just put them horizontally because it fits on the paper better. And that gives me $89.22. So that's my deduction. So I just finished what I calculated for deduction. So that's part B finished. So part C is I got to find the net pay. Net pay. So we know net pay is equal to gross pay minus deductions, right? So what was our gross pay? Well, our gross pay was $453.25 minus our deductions that we calculated, which is $89.22. So let's plug that in the calculator. And 453.25 minus 89.22 gives me $364.03. And that would be my net pay. That would be my net pay. Sorry, where's my cameraman? My cameraman didn't move the camera. So net pay is equal to gross pay minus deductions. We've done that before. We calculated before that our gross pay was $453 from part A. So we just plug that in. And we calculated in part B our deductions was 89. So we subtract that from our gross pay. So gross pay minus deductions gives me my net pay. So there we go. That's question 3C done, and question 3 is done. So let's move on to question number 4. So question number 4. Again, we're in Unit 1. Unit 1, Lesson 3. And let's take a look. What is question 4 all about? So question 4, I'll make this bigger, is Cindy works 27 hours per week. Her net income is $838, and her deductions are $270. What is her hourly rate of pay? So we have to find gross pay, right? We have to find gross pay. So in this case here, so again, we have to find hourly rate. So we're going to use the GRASP method. So what was given, what is required also. So we're going to use GRASP in this case. You don't have to use it all the time because it is more involved. So remember, GRASP was, what were we given? So we were given, so you work 27 hours per week. What else can we get out of that? Deductions were equal to $271.40. $1,000,000.42. And net income, net pay is equal to $838. And again, we have to assume that this is all per week, right? This is per week, right? Because they may try to mess you up and give it not in a per week. So I've written all that down. So again, question number 4, remember the grass method was what's given, right? Given, right? We've learned the grass method before, given. So this is all that was given. So what was required? So required. So what was required? Well, we have to find the hourly rate, the hourly rate of pay, and that's usually in dollars per hour, right? That's what we're trying to find. Another way to write it is like that, but the better way to write it is like this, right? Dollars over hour, right? They all mean the same thing. So that's what's required. So what is our analysis? So analysis. So our analysis is, we know that net pay is equal to gross pay minus deductions, right? Do we have deductions? Oh, we do. Do we have net pay? Oh, we do. So can we find gross pay? We can find gross pay. And remember, we learned how to rearrange that. We added deductions on the side, added deduction on that side. So we get gross pay is equal to net pay plus deductions. So let's calculate that right now. Oh, sorry, look. So that's the formula we're going to use. So we learned that from before. So that's our formula. Gross pay is equal to net pay. Once we have gross pay, so remember what gross pay is equal to. Gross pay is equal to the hours times the hourly rate. Right? And we were given the hours, right? We were given the hours. And if we find gross pay, we can find the hourly rate. That's what we have to find. So this looks like we're on the right track here. So let's do our solution. So the solution in this case is step 1. Find our gross pay. And how do we find gross pay? Gross pay is equal to net pay plus deductions. So our net pay in this case here was $838 plus our deductions of $271.42 gives us, let's plug that into the calculator. You don't need to see that, I don't think. You can do it now. Plus 271.42, $1,109.42. So that's their gross pay. So that's the first step right there. So we've done this one, right? That was step 1. And then step 2 is we have to find the hourly rate. So step 2, find hourly rate. Well, we know that our gross pay is equal to the hours times the rate of pay. And we got to find the rate of pay. So how do I get rate by itself? How do I get rate by itself? Well, I'm going to divide by rate on this side. Oh, sorry. I'm going to divide by hours on this side because I want rate by itself. And that's going to cancel out the hours on that side. But remember, whatever I do to that side of the equation, I got to do to this side of the equation. So there I go. I got rate of pay is equal to gross pay divided by hours. So again, I'll do that again. Gross pay is equal to hours times your rate of pay. If I want to find, that's what we have to find is the rate of pay. How do I get rid of the hours on this side? So it's times hours. Remember, that's the times symbol. Oh, that's a tail eraser on the end of that pencil. Hours times rate. So how do I get rid of hours on this side? Well, I'm going to divide by hours on this side. Because it is times, I'm going to do the opposite. Remember, if it's plus, I'm going to do minus. If it's minus, I'm going to do plus. If it's divide, I'm going to do times. If it's times, I'm going to do the opposite, which is divide. All right, so hours divided by hours. So I have to divide by hours on this side, so I divide by hours on this side. Hours divided by hours, they disappear, right? They turn into 1. So what do I get? I get gross pay divided by hours is equal to my rate. my pay rate. And that's what I got to find. Okay? So what is my gross pay? Well, remember the gross pay we figured out last time, $1,109.42 divided by the hours. Remember the hours was given. It was 27 hours was given. So divided by 27 hours. And there's our units. It's going to be dollars per hours. So what is our rate of pay equal to? Well, it would be 1,009.42 divided by, sorry, it was 27 hours. Just writing too fast. Divided by 27 gives me $41, and I'm going to round, so 0.08 turns to 0.09, $0.09 per hour. Remember those are my units. Dollars on top, hours on the bottom. So my rate of pay, so again, my P or paraphrase, in this case here, would be their, make it capital, right? Proper sentence structure here. Their rate of pay is $41.09 per hour. Or the same as saying $41 per hour. Okay, period. So there you guys go. That's question number 4. And we'll look at question number 5 and just talk about question number 5. Explain why using gross pay is not recommended and net pay is recommended when preparing a budget. Well, because gross pay has doesn't include deductions. So your deductions could be quite high, right? In this case here, they weren't too high, but up here they were quite high. So again, depending on what your deductions are, you could not get a lot of pay that's left over. So that's why when you do a budget, you want to base it on your net pay and not your gross pay, because your gross pay isn't really what you're getting. It's your net pay, which was what you want to get. So there you guys go. That is that's it for lesson number 3 in Unit 1. And join me for Unit 1, Lesson 4 in a minute here. So again, this is going to show up here just under Unit 1, Lesson 3, Gross and Net Pay. And that video lesson's there. But again, the print lesson's there if you need it. There's some answers here. I did notice that just be careful if some of the answers, the support answers, don't quite match. Let me know as I'm just checking that work that was given to me as well. Sometimes they don't match. So just fire me off an email or ask me in the Google Meets if there's any of these support answers that quite don't make sense, and we can go through that, because I've been finding a few mistakes in those as well and correcting them as we go. And that's what we do here is we are resilient and we work through these things together. So there you guys go. Have a great day. Stay safe. Take care. And bye for now.